Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my Tuesday information session. I'm going to do this every Tuesday and bring up various stream of information to you, whether it be mortgage information, whether it be open house information, whether it be focus on mentality, which I'm working very hard on in my coaching side of things. This is going to be fun, I hope. Today we are going to work on the mortgage side of things, and I'm going to bring some information to you that I hope you find valuable. I know things change a lot. Things change very quickly in the mortgage industry. They change very fast. Even I have a hard time keeping up with the programs and the banks and the lenders and what's out there and what you can and can't get. So one of the things I want to do is go over some of the programs that are out there on a pretty steady basis and how they change from bank to bank. So one of my personal favorite programs out there is called the Owner Occupied Rental Program. And this is a program offered by a couple of different banks. My favorite program is with RFA. They offer it through a program where you can, if you purchase a house with a qualified rental unit, it does not have to be legal. Yes, when you sell it, it should be legal, but it does not have to be a qualified legal rental, as in, it has to have the exit window and all that kind of stuff. It does have to have separate entrance. It does have to have a kitchen, a bathroom, and a bedroom. It does not have to be 100% complete. You could have to do some minor changes to get it finished, but it does have to be usable. At that point, we can do a couple of things. We can take the property taxes and the heat directly out of your liabilities. We can add whatever the rental income is directly to your income. What this does is it makes the ratios a lot better. Taking those property taxes directly out of the liability. So if you're paying $3,600 a year in property taxes, that means you take, $120, take $360 a month directly out of your liabilities, and $100 a month in heat directly out of your liabilities. And then say you're able to take my conservative estimates are usually $1,500 a month. And you can add that directly to your income. And what that does is it changes your numbers. I was able to use this program at the beginning of last year to help a woman from Toronto moving to Hamilton change her qualifying numbers from 730 to 780,000. I know it's a little bit of a pain in the ass for the real estate agents because now they got to find a unicorn residence. But it is a difference sometimes of somebody moving into a sketchier neighborhood, into a slightly nicer neighborhood. Sometimes it is the difference between them qualifying to purchase a house, period. Sometimes it gets them from that, $400,000 to $500,000 market. I'm working with somebody right now who was able to take them from $750,000 to $900,000 based on their numbers. It is a very, very useful program. There are other lenders out there that have very similar programs. I'm just very, very familiar with the RFA. It is such a useful program. It works so well. If you have clients out there, especially, first-time home buyers that are struggling to make the numbers work, this is a great way to get them into the market. They don't have to stay there. They don't have to keep using it. I have clients out Niagara Way that have 3 times used the home owner occupied rental program to buy a primary residence, then go buy another primary that residence into a full rental, turn the residence they bought into owner occupied rental, buy another property, which is now their forever home with an owner occupied rental. And they now have 2 rental homes and an owner occupied rental. So it is a very useful program. Secondly, rental programs themselves. So lenders' rental programs change drastically from lender to lender. In my opinion, Bank of Montreal, BMO, has the best rental program out there. They allow you to take up to 5 rental units, 5 rental homes. You take all of the money coming in, take all of the money going out, you put it all into one rental sheet. And if it's an asset, so if you have positive money coming in, you add it directly to income. If you have a shortfall, you add it directly to the liabilities. It is the simplest way to do it. It is the easiest way to make the math work. And it doesn't overcomplicate things. Not only that, doing it this way, instead of adding each individual property to a deal, adding the loan, adding the property taxes, adding the heat, then the mortgages and offsetting and all that, when you do all that, you almost always, no matter how you do it, will end up in a shortfall. This way, if the numbers work, you will end up in a positive a lot of times. It works very well. I just did a deal. I'm working on a deal, super complicated. Didn't end up in a shortfall, but it was the only way this deal was going to work and take out $60,000 for my clients as well. It's a $960,000 refinance. Three partners, 4 businesses between them, 8 properties, 5 rentals, 11 doors. It's a little complicated. It took a little bit longer than we expected, but we were able to get it done. A lot of rental programs will make you do each individual property, and then you do an offset, which is not an add to income. It just means you offset it from the mortgage and will almost always put you in a shortfall. RFA has a very similar program, actually the exact same program to BMO. They just have, the rates aren't as good as BMO right now. What other programs are out there for rentals? Desjardins has a very, very good rental program. You can go up to 10 rentals. Their paperwork is a nightmare. You have to have everything up front, so you better make sure you have your clients ready to go. What other programs are out there that I wanted to talk about? New to Canada program. This is one people don't realize. Everybody thinks because you're a foreign buyer, you can't buy here in Canada. This isn't true. If you're new to Canada, usually if you have landed in Canada within the last 5 years is the general rule of thumb, and you have a work permit that doesn't expire within the next 90 to 60 days, depending on which lender you're going to. RFA is 90 days. First National is 183 days, which is 6 months. You can purchase. You can purchase. Especially if you're applying for permanent residence. There are ways to do purchases like this. You do not have to pay the tax. You can get this done. New to Canada program. RFA, there are some rules where you have to work for an major international corporation or the government. There are exceptions to it. I can usually find a way to get it done. First National, there are none of those exceptions, at least not that I've been able to find. I was able already to get somebody pre-approved under this program, and we're working on a deal right now. The New to Canada program is great for those clients that you have that you know are staying, that are actively looking for permanent residence, that have set roots here, that are staying here, that have long-time jobs here. Most of the time, you have to prove 3 months employment here, I believe. So it is doable. There are ways to get most deals done here if you can find somewhere to fit them in a niche. And that's what I do. That's what I look for. What else did I want to talk about? BFS versus stated income. This one is fun. This one is complicated. I have this conversation with a lot of my BFS people. because stated income is exactly that. You tell the bank what your income is. So if you're a BFS customer and you make $75,000 a year, but your company brings in 120,000 a year, I can likely bump that up to 90. And as long as you have a reasonable expectation of the business, of what you're in the business, you have 2 years in the business, and it's reasonable to say that we can bump your income up to this amount because of the business, because of the money you bring in, and then First National will allow you to do that. The advantage to a stated income over a BFS is, one, you're going to end up on the A side, and two, you only have to put 10% down as opposed to 20% down. Disadvantages, and remember, I am not an accountant. I am not a business analyst or business financial specialist. But disadvantages, you need to claim your income. If you are a BFS and you keep your money in your business and claim dividends at the end of the year, you do not have to claim as much income. You do not have to pay as much income tax at the end of the year. I've had this conversation with a few clients and told them, please go talk to your financial specialist, your accountant, find out what's best for you. Because is it worth paying $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in income tax to save $5,000 to $8,000 a year on your mortgage? And the light goes off oftentimes with clients at that point, because keep the money in your business. You can use the money that's in your business. If you have money in the business and you have signing authority, you're the one that can take the money out. You can take the money out and use it for your down payment all you want. But for 2 years, if you want to be on the A side, you have to register that income and claim that income. So do you want to pay you want to claim $150,000 a year? Pay $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year in income tax just so you can be on the A side. Think about that a little bit. Take your time. Have that conversation with your clients, or send them to me and I'll have that conversation with them and tell them, go talk to your financial specialist. In the meantime, you can go on the B side, pay 5% as opposed to 3.5% to 4.5%, pay an extra couple $100 a month, an extra $5,000 a year, if that, and keep the money from your income in your business and use it when you need it. Guys, I appreciate this. I appreciate you listening. I'm going to post this up on YouTube on my channel. I'm going to post it in the Facebook chat, and I'll post some clips up on Instagram. I will do this every week. Have yourselves a great day.